Is the David. There's such a good dog. Oh my gosh, look at that wrinkly fur, skin, the winter coat, the Hermelin winter coat. Look at that beautiful David. Look at that boy. Oh my gosh, what a relaxed, beautiful being. Oh my gosh, he's feeling so good. Had already 2 bowel movements today and is going outside and is doing very well. So well behaved and so amazing and such a pleasing man is that. Oh my gosh, Mama is so infinitely grateful to the David, to Kyla and Maggie, and to the blue God. Yes, we're all infinitely grateful. This is my new babe, the love of my life. Yes, that he is the sweetest thing, the sweetest being in the whole world, the most gorgeous being alive, the sexiest man alive. That is what David is. My beautiful Dave. Yes, the beautiful being. All right. So, and I want to make this film called Rhino Part 2. This is in my series Rhino. I think this fits very well. Here's the David. He's itching his ear. We're gonna have to wipe some diatomaceous earth cream into the ear. That's what I used to do with Kenny. It worked like a charm. That will work for months. This is just one-time use. Make a cream with diatomaceous earth, and then you put that on a paper towel and gently wipe that into the ear, deep in, very gently, and massage that in. And that feels really good. And it also, oh, I love you infinitively much. Yes, and as you can see, this is hilarious. The color of his coat is almost, I would say it is actually identical to the rug. This is so amazing. I had the feeling that this was the case before we got him even. I had this feeling. And then when he came up here to my studio room, then I knew I was right. His coat is identical to the rug, except for this part of the rug because this got bleached by the sun a little bit. So, yes. The David is the most beautiful being in the whole universe. Yes, that's what he is. And he really likes it. He likes everything. Yeah, he is very grateful. He likes the garden. Oh, my gorgeous man. That's what you are, the most gorgeous being. Yes, the most gorgeous being. Oh, I love you. Oh, oh. So I'm gonna make my video sequence now. And in this one, I want to talk about I want to talk about my David. And also later on I'm gonna go in the garden with him and I'm gonna show the garden. So but make that into another part because I can't edit these videos since I'm filming this on my tablet and my Microsoft computer won't go on the internet anymore. Can't even print anything out. So but I got these 2 kid tablets and they work very well. I can do one video with it and then upload it. I don't know. There's no editing program in here, and I don't know if I can still. If I don't think the editing program in YouTube is any good, so you can't really patch sequences together or anything. So I just have to, talk as good as I can in one piece, and but it helps me also. That helps me to get used to not be so hypercritical with myself all the time, and just accept what I said and the way I presented it. So anyway, I wanted to make this part 2 about the physicalities of this subject of alternative solutions to any of these drugs that are out there, including the Chinese herbal market, which is absolutely horrendous. So there are alternatives out there that work way better, that work infinitively much better, and they really work because the stuff that's out there, either the pharma stuff or the animal part stuff from the Chinese herbal and quotation marks market, is not working. It's just to make believe, and it has side effects, and it clogs the arteries, and it's all not really working, and it's certainly not holistic, and it doesn't serve the greater good. It causes suffering, and we need to get away from that Chinese herbal market and quotation mark, because not they sell some herbs, but and that part is okay. If the Chinese government would just regulate that better, then they can actually have a Chinese herbal market in the truest sense of the word. But they don't. They sneak in shark fins and other stuff. I don't even want to talk about it right now because it is so negative, and I already talked about it in my first part. What's going on in the world about this. So I want to focus on the positive, and the David is bringing positivity into my life, and we're healing each other. And so we're doing crystal healing together, and I've already shown him a couple of rocks, and he likes some of those rocks, and some of them he actually licks and takes into his mouth a little bit, but I don't let him take it all the way because I don't know. Some of them are kind of like small, like these here. I'll show you. Like this one here, I'll just show him, and he will take it like here and bite on it. But I don't let him take it all the way into his mouth because I don't know what he might do. He might swallow it, so I'm not going to take any chances. And he's already smelled on those big rocks, and he poked this one on the side, kind of like, oh yeah, I want to play with that rock. Kind of like, oh, is that a ball? Maybe I can play with that a little bit. That is the sweetest thing in the world. So, and so we do crystal healing. I got a lot of crystals and a lot of rocks in this house, and petrified wood, and it is very good energy. And I gave him some cedar twigs to chew on, but he won't chew on those. And yesterday we went to 2 different pet stores, and we got him a whole bunch of biscuits, and he loves those. And we made him a tuna salad, and yesterday he took his worm medicine, the one-time use, chewing tablets, and he's doing so well today. He's doing so much better, and I can already see his fur. He hasn't even taken a shower yet. His fur is starting to become shinier. So this is really amazing. I've also wiped him with wet towels, and I have a little bit essential oils on those, and so he really likes that. Kenny used to love that too. I always called it my shiatsu massage. And with Kenny, I didn't have to bend down. It was, Kenny was already like a massage bench. You know? He was already the height of a massage bench, and I would just massage him kind of like a massage therapist does on a patient who is lying down on a massage bench. So, and I was going up and down with a wet towel with essential oils, and I would massage in circular motion along the whole long. Kenny had a enormously long back, and that's why he had very much trouble going up and down those stairs. It was very difficult for him. So that's why we finally had to move the bed. This is actually the master bedroom. We had to move Paul's king size bed downstairs into a much smaller room because it was hard for him towards the end, where the last 4 years already, where he had balance problems, and then the hips started to get bad, and I was so worried. All these last years, because those things, when those symptoms happen, they usually get worse. And then, but with holistic healing, one can do a lot, and one can alleviate the problems, and one can make the hips better with you probably know about MSM. It's a amino acid, I believe. It's a longer word. I don't know what the abbreviation stands for, but it is a joint medicine, holistic joint medicine, and also chondroitin, which is also a natural holistic joint medicine. And there's one more. Now I can't find the word, but there are 3 natural joint substances that are absolutely excellent. And then kelp seaweed is excellent, and of course diatomaceous earth. And I am making this video for everyone, so also for those Chinese men who are seeking to improve their circular flow or whatever, and all of these things are going to improve that, so for sure. And cayenne pepper is a wonderful natural herb that will circulate the blood better. It will thin the blood, and it will detox all the stuff out of the brain, and all the arteries, and clear the arteries from debris and sedimentation and stuff like that. So that's very helpful. And also spirulina algae is very helpful. I believe that's a freshwater algae. It's very dark green in color. It doesn't have a fishy taste. The kelp has a very fishy taste, and that's why I mix that in for myself in hot chocolate, which is not the ideal solution. So that's why I ordered myself soy milk powder last night, and I'm going to make my own alternative hot chocolate in quotation marks. I'm going to use soy milk powder, and I'm going to use barley malt from Eden Foods, which is excellent, and I'm going to use the powder of carob, ground carob, And carob is tastes very much like chocolate, but it's not chocolate, and it has it's naturally sweet and tastes very, very good. And some people don't like it. I love it. I wish they would all. I wished all of those chocolatier people, all of those chefs in the world would use carob instead, or at least have one line made with carob instead of chocolate. That would be so amazing. And also chocolate cocoa usually comes from exploitation out there in the tropical zones. And that's always something to think about. So another thing is not to buy palm oil, because that comes from exploiting the Amazon rainforest, and it is very destructive to the habitat of the orangutan. No, I mixed this up. Malaysia. Okay. So, the orangutans live in Malaysia. Maybe I'm completely mistaken now, but either Malaysia or somewhere in the Asian countries. But there's also a lot of exploitation going on in the Amazon rainforest as well. And that's why it's important to pay attention when we buy something, to possibly buy from fair trade companies that make sure that the people and the animals are protected wherever the material has been harvested, and the form of harvesting and all of this. So all of this ties into it, to make the world a better place, because if we make the world a better place, we also make it better for all of us, for each of us. So it is where altruism meets egoism. I made a poem about this a couple of years ago. There was a poem I made with Kenny together, and made a video where I talk about infinite love, and that altruism becomes egoism when that merges, when altruism and egoism merge, when they meet, you know, then we have accomplished our goal for the world, and that's the most wonderful thing. And so there are so many holistic things out there: clays, the diatomaceous earth, the sodium bentonite clay, the calcium bentonite clay, all the different kaolin clays are out there. Kaolin clay is particularly good for people who have digestive problems or diarrhea. That binds all the toxins together, and it soothes the intestinal lining for animals and humans equally much. And and I recommend to people not to drink any alcohol, and not to use any tobacco products, and not to use any drugs of any sort, neither the hallucinogenic type of drugs nor the sedative type of drugs. There are alternative solutions for various problems of nervousness, or feeling not creative enough, or not the life is not exciting enough. There are millions of times better solutions out there for those kind of things, or the libido issue and all of this. There are all the herbal things out there that I recommend for those Chinese men who want to enhance their lifestyles. So, there's basically there are at least 100 plants and herbs and trees out there, and flowers, for every single ailment and every single illness, including the so-called incurable illnesses. Every single illness. has at least 100 natural herbal or clay solutions that can heal it. And the pharma industry does not want people to know these things, and they don't want that information to be broadcast. And since I only have 90 something subscribers, I don't have a very large audience, and most of those people don't watch my videos. Some people subscribe out of politeness because I have subscribed to them, and I have about 5 to 10 people who watch my videos, so I'm definitely not a threat to the medical industry, so they shouldn't be afraid. But they are afraid of people who do have a large audience and who spread holistic healing. But this should not scare us into submission and into caving into the corporate agenda and the medical industry. So I know that we can make the world a better place one step at a time, and it's worth it to dare to speak out for alternative solutions. It's absolutely great, and I love that Gretchen is doing that as well with her videos. I very much applaud that, and I think that is fantastic. And I'm a total fan of essential oils, and I have a whole closet full of them. Constantly get those, and my husband always getting upset and thinking I'm spending too much money. But I think it is important to have a couple of really high quality essential oils, and makes life better. There are so many essential oils just to smell them or have them on the skin. That also goes into the system, and that are extremely healing for all kinds of different things, like rosemary, for example, for the Chinese men again. Rosemary is fantastic, and Dr. Scholl's also talks about it. And Dr. Scholl's talked about the libido thing in regards, and so the reason why I'm talking about this, because this is a follow-up of my first video in which I talk about the rhinoceros horn powder that is on the Chinese herbal market, which is extremely infinitively unethical. And so that's why I am particularly coming back to this subject, to stay true to my series, and to give the Chinese men out there who feel like they feel like they're lacking something, that they can completely fill out their lives with holistic means and really fulfill their lives and fulfill their needs and their bodies, and to make themselves well again and to heal, and to, for the first time maybe in their lives, to learn to love themselves the way they are, and to pamper themselves with natural healing. And Dr. Richard Scholl's is an amazing guy. He's an herbalist, and he had been in trouble because the medical industry tried to shut him down. They even had him incarcerated because he was healing people from terminal illnesses. And that was definitely seen as a threat to the medical industry. So they have that much leverage, and that's not good that they have that much legal leverage over us. So kind of like, like a feudal system in the 1500s, where a king has that much leverage, where he can get rid of anyone, who appears as a threat to him. Like, for example, herbalist women who were constantly executed because they were healing people and they were taking the attention away from the clergy and the people in power. So naturally, they didn't like that, and with their leverage, they could just do anything they wanted with those people, and they called them witches. And it's an atrocity what humanity has done already. And so, but well, it's not much different today. Actually, this stuff's still going on in third world countries. But in the Western world, we have the corporate agenda now who has switched places with the clergy and the kings and queens from the past. They are the ones in charge now. They are the ones calling the shots. They are the ones who have hacked the legal system all the way onto their side and taken the rights away from everyone else. And it's very similar. It's very similar to a feudal system. So, and that's what we want to heal. We want to balance out again, and we don't heal it if people look the other way or put a duct tape over their mouth, and that's not going to help anything. So we have to look the problem into the eye, and we need to be willing to recognize that this is a really serious problem, and there's extreme exploitation going on, and that we have to do something about it, that we have to speak out, that we have to become aware about all those herbs and clays, and that we need to propagate the message of natural healing so that more people will find out about it, heal themselves, and keep propagating and helping other people. And the more we do this, the more we become powerful over the corporate agenda, and even the people within the corporate agenda will start using the natural healing. And this is what my goal is for the world. And in my next video I will show David and the garden, and I will talk about the the psychological healing that we can do. So okay guys, take care, bye bye.